it was in that group there, we ran the courses for the schools in the May, September and Christmas holidays, and we gave them 2.5 day driving and theory courses. We selected people, we'd ring up the school headmaster and say, look, we've got a vacancy for 6 of your students to attend this 2.5 day class, well sought after. And one principal will say, right, well, I've got a few lads that need a bit of straightening up, I'll send them. And another principal will say, well, that sounds like a very good thing, I'll give it to my best students. So we had a real mixture. You had the lovely
ones that needed it,
ones that really needed it, and the best students who were getting it because it was a nice
thing to do.
A nice thing to do. Now, they were very successful, excellent. Parents and students and the teachers all raved about the courses. But eventually we couldn't do it. We got too busy and we couldn't just handle it anymore.
Yeah.
You see, it was quite an intensive thing to do. And we had to give it away. But what I did 3 years after, I took a survey of the 320 students I selected that we'd put through these courses.
Graduates.
And I went to the motor vehicles department and we picked out, with the help of their staff, we picked out the equivalent of what we'd put through this course, who got their licences the same day but hadn't had this training, and then we compared their traffic history with accidents and being sought after by police and all that, you know. And the crowd that we put through...
Look good.
Oh, did it look good, by comparison. Now, that was a catalyst later in life, in the police career, when I was in charge of the police safety section. I was asked to try and build that up. And I had the wonderful opportunity when SGIC,
Yep.
so Dennis Gershwitz, the general manager, called us over there one day, and he'd come back from overseas with a couple of very good road safety films. So he invited me and a few of the traffic experts to go over and have a look at these films and to see whether we would make use of them. And of course we could always make use of films because we were running those traffic offenders lectures, talking to 400 people at a time. So the films were excellent, and I latched on to his last words, and he said, well, look, he said, I've got money set aside for any promotion of road safety that we consider as a worthwhile...
Make a difference.
Yeah, make a difference. So as soon as I got those remarks, I said to myself, Max, don't forget that conversation. So I went back and I said, my boys, we will try and get a program going in the schools as we had in the past with this successful scheme, without giving them actual driving lessons. We just do it with theory. So then I went to 4 of the high schools, one north, south, east and west of Adelaide. So I went to started at Norwood High School. I went out there and saw the principal, put my thoughts to him. He gave me a good half hour and he said, it sounds okay, we'll take it on. So that was the first one.
Just need one school.
Then I went out to Unley High School, did the same there.
Yeah, they're very progressive.
Woodville High School and Enfield High School, so one north, south, east and west. And they all raved about it and said, well, we'd like to have that next year. And this is a program, a 2x2 hour theory program to year 12 students. So that was great. I knew it would happen. I every confidence they
No-brainer.
wanted.
Mm.
And I then went to 43 other schools in Adelaide, a couple in the country, but mainly the metropolitan area, and I won them all over. And I went then, I got an appointment to see Dennis Gershwitz back at SGIC, and I said, Dennis, I remember your last conversation with me. And I said, here's what I've done in the last 12 months
Yep.
with my staff. And he said, Max, that's exactly what I'm looking for. What do you want?
What do you got?
Well, I said, I'll need more staff, and I will need vehicles, because the education department, the education side of the police force is last when it comes to getting vehicles. I was promised a vehicle about 4 years and still didn't get it. The enforcement side of it won the vehicles all the time, so I had to beg, borrow and steal vehicles every day to get around. Waiting for superintendents to arrive at work and grab their car and all that sort of thing, you know. So we were in terrible trouble, right from the word go, because of not being able to get out to the
No
schools.
funding, yeah.
So then I said, look, we badly need vehicles, we need equipment, we need more staff. He said, you've got it. So he said, how do I go about it? I said, well, you can't say, Max, here it is. You've got to go through the right channel. You've got to go through the Commissioner of Police.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. I gave him some ideas of what to say, and he sent it off to Dave Hunt, who had just sat down in the chair. So in his letter he was able to congratulate David on reaching the chair of Commissioner, and then said he'd been talking to me about this program that I'd started in the schools, and he thought
Had merit.
had a lot of merit, and it's just what they were looking for. They've got the money set aside for it out of the third-party insurance.
Yep.
So that's where it started. So from then on, I've got it all documented here.
Yeah.
I said my aim is to get to every school in the state, and that's what we did. It took me 2 years, nearly 3 years, to get it into every school in the state. And for the last 2 years of my, before I retired, every school in the state had taken the program.